It's amazing how much stuff creeps into our lives and our homes, and as I dig deep and declutter more and more, I find myself asking, where did this even come from? Here are 30 ideas of things that can be decluttered that you probably won't even miss at all. First on my list is decluttering your schedule. This is something that a lot of people don't think about, but it being summertime, I decided to take a close look at what I was doing every single day and cross off all the things that I did not need to do in the next few months. I wanted to really simplify my life, especially with my kids being home, and enjoy these summer warm moments that we can get outside having fun. I took Instagram off of my phone and a lot of the other social media apps I took off of my phone. I also went through my work schedule and crossed off anything that I didn't really need to be doing for the next few months. This one applied to my parents' home, which was to declutter all the fancy china dishes that were never being used. She had 3 sets of china and was never using them except for maybe Christmas every few years. So we went through and she picked out the one she wanted to keep and got rid of the other 2 sets. Next, we're gonna take it to the craft section and declutter all the broken or messed up paintbrushes and art supplies. Also, we went through and got rid of all the little crayons that were broken and down to tiny little bits. My mom and I went through her closet and decluttered all of the art that they no longer wanted to hang on their walls. She had quite a few pieces of art that I had done and that she had done and that they had collected over the years from other artists, and they were never going to hang those, so we got rid of them. With my kids being home from school, this was the perfect time to go through their desk drawers and declutter all the paperwork and things that they brought home from school that we did not need to keep. Of course, we pick out the very special projects that we might want to store for a future date or that they have deemed to be sentimental to them. But if it's not sentimental, we have gone and recycled all those things. I actually collected a whole trash bag. I was amazed that we didn't need all those papers that they had shoved into their drawers. So this is the perfect time if you have kids or even your own desk to just take a few minutes, go through and get rid of all those papers that you don't need anymore. Next would be cups and mugs in your kitchen. These tend to really pile up. We sometimes get them from friends or freebies, or when we're on vacation, we will pick up a mug or a souvenir cup. And next on my list is souvenirs. Sometimes we have souvenirs stuffed into closets, drawers, and at the back of a bookshelf. Just go through and look for all those souvenirs that don't mean anything to you anymore, or maybe someone gave to you from their trip that has no meaning to you whatsoever. An easy thing to declutter are things that are broken. We found quite a few broken items in our garage, and that was super easy to let go of. Also, my mom pointed out decluttering all those plastic pots that flowers and plants come in. We had about 40 of those stored in our outdoor shed because we've been redoing our backyard. We've just been stacking them, and I realized I don't need so many of those. If I really want to propagate something, I probably only need about 10 of those. Maybe 20 at the most. I definitely don't need 40, so I was able to get rid of a ton of those. When we recently decluttered and organized our garage, my husband found quite a few tools that he no longer needed, so he was able to donate those tools. They sometimes accumulate from jobs that are completed, or sometimes people gift us things that we just don't need. They think, oh, Grant's a carpenter, so I'll give him the tool, and we just don't need it. So we were able to donate those to a local secondhand store. Decluttering uncomfortable shoes is always a good idea because why would we want our feet to hurt? My mom shared this tip with me, which was to go through your bathing suits. We are going to be out at the beach soon, and she went through all her bathing suits and found quite a few that the elastic had completely blown out of and they didn't fit anymore, or she didn't like the way they looked. So she was able to declutter quite a few swimsuits, and I'm about to go through mine because she inspired me and I haven't tried mine on in quite a while. Look in your car and declutter all the random junk. At least that's what I did recently. I thought I had already been through my car, but I guess it had been a while and there were quite a few things accumulated in the trunk of my car. So I went through and got rid of all the extra little things that I really didn't need in there. I love this quote from Peter Walsh. What I know for sure is that when you declutter, whether it's your home, your head, or your heart, it is astounding what will flow into that space that will enrich you, your life, and your family. I can't agree with this quote more, and hopefully this will inspire you to declutter more items. Now let's continue with our list. Here's a hard one to do, at least for me, which is to declutter something that you recently bought that just didn't work out. I had bought an external mic for one of my cameras, and no matter how I tried to use it, it never worked. It just made the sound worse, if that's possible. And I read the reviews too late and realized that a lot of people had this problem. Again, when we went through the garage, we decluttered all the stuff that was left over from projects that we didn't use. And that's something that can really add up as clutter in our garage because we think, oh, we will use that one day, but letting that go gave us a lot of extra space, and to be honest, we would probably never end up using it. Decluttering luggage and purses that you know you will never use. For years, I kept a lot of really pretty bags and purses that I had collected over the years, and I had them stored in my closet, and I rarely pulled them out and used them because I had the bag that I loved. So finally, I let all those purses go, and I'm actually a lot happier to have the space. Declutter all the lotions and potions and things that just did not work out. Sometimes we go out and try a new type of lotion. At least I had quite a few lotions in my cupboard and we didn't like them. Maybe it had a funny smell, and so I decluttered all of those instead of storing them in my cupboard for a just-in-case moment. Recently, I went through my kitchen and I found quite a few expired bags of flour and rice, and that stuff really does go bad. If you've ever made a batch of cookies with some bad flour, it will not taste good. So I had to declutter those items, and I'm trying to be more mindful to only purchase things when needed. I want to mention really quickly that I have a full blog post on all of these items, plus the 47 other items that I talked about in my previous video. 9 times out of 10, I am not going to open up a book I've already read before because I already remember everything that's in it. Unless it's a reference book for something, I will probably never read it again. So I like to donate those to little libraries or to our local secondhand store. My mom gave me this idea, which was to declutter any of the little mirrors or anything that's under your bathroom cabinet. We've talked about that in quite a few videos lately, but she keeps revisiting under her bathroom cabinet and finding more and more items that she isn't using. So recently she got rid of a hand mirror, and that made me think of my bathroom cabinet, and I went through there and found a few items as well. This Christmas, I was gifted some kitchen towels, and I was really excited to switch mine out because mine were really worn, and these towels were just not absorbing. And because I hand wash my dishes, I need absorbent towels. So I actually ended up returning these. I had bought them at Costco. They took them back because if you have any issue whatsoever, you can return the towels. And I told them that they just did not absorb any of the water, which is crazy why you would sell that. Declutter your junk drawer, but also try to find all the things that went with something that you've previously decluttered. So the example I have is my mom had a George Foreman grill scraper, and we found it in one of her drawers, and both of us were wondering, what is this? And thanks to you, I had the comments left below saying that went with a George Foreman grill, which my mom had already decluttered years ago. And so sometimes we have these items that went with something just sitting around our house and taking up room when we're never going to use it because the item's already been decluttered. I'm a plant lover, but I've had to declutter quite a few plants that I just couldn't keep alive. They took too much effort, and maybe our home wasn't the right amount of sun or humidity, whatever it was, but I've decluttered all the plants that are just too much upkeep. This one is kind of funny because I'm sure we've all been there where we store the manuals to all the things that we have in our homes, washing machine, dryer, all of the sort of things that you would want to look at the manual for. And I do keep some manuals, but what's interesting is I don't go through them that often. And the other day I went through my bag of manuals and I had so many manuals of things that I had already got rid of. So go through your bag of manuals or wherever you keep all the manuals and guides to the items in your home and see what you don't need anymore. Declutter all of the old calendars. If you're anything like me and my mom, We tend to save old calendars because you think, oh, I might refer to that if it has a certain date in it or what I did that year. And there was a time when I had a ton of calendars, but my mom, being the smart lady she is, came up with a fix for this, which is just open up a Word document and type out the year and the important things you did that year. It probably takes about a paragraph, birthdays and anything you need from that calendar, and then you can throw away the calendar and just have one Word document that shows year after year what you did and what was important that you might want to remember. This can be hard to declutter, but if you're a creative person like me and my husband, sometimes you have to declutter things that you've made yourself. You put a lot of time and energy into something, maybe a painting. My husband made my boys a firehouse, but they've grown out of that, and the firehouse is kind of falling apart in some areas. My husband doesn't feel like fixing it up, so we're going to let that item go. But sometimes it can be hard to declutter items that we've made ourselves and put our energy into and our creativity, but those need to be decluttered as well. If not, I would have a closet full of artwork that I can't hang on my walls. So yeah, donate it, or we are probably going to recycle the firehouse. This one applies to my youngest, which is to declutter the pajamas that are out of season that he will not fit into by the next winter. And then we have baby gear that they have grown out of. Kids grow so fast, so I always say make sure you're on top of that and looking at the things that they no longer need. We recently decluttered a walker, and I just found the baby carrier that we are not going to need anymore. Click right here to watch the next video, and also visit my website with the link down below. See you in the next video. Bye!